What's going on, guys? Before we start talking spoiler talk of the mid-season premiere of The Walking Dead Season 7, let me say that I am doing a giveaway. You can win this Negan and Glenn black and white figurine by just subscribing and putting down below on the comment section hashtag RIP Glenn or hashtag RIP Abraham, and I will announce the winner at the end of Season 7 of The Walking Dead. Let's get started. So, we're back, baby, and spoiler talk, so you guys have been warned. Who the hell was Rick smiling at the end of this episode? I've seen so many YouTube videos out there saying, okay, I believe his name's Hector. When's Hector going to come back? Hector was in the first season of The Walking Dead. I believe that's his name, I'm not sure. I can't remember that. It's probably something else, but he was the one person who left the group when I think Rick and all them were going to I think it was in the start of the second season. I can't remember that far back, but he left the group very early on and we never knew what happened to his fate. So Rick is just like smiling. So I've seen so many YouTube videos saying that he could possibly come back in the future. Who knows, maybe it is him, but right now when everybody was swarming Rick and company, it looked like that it was the group that Tara got, Tara, when that one episode with Tara just basically, it was all woman colony, but Rick was smiling. It might be Gabriel. She might be smiling at Gabriel, because in the beginning of this episode, Gabriel takes all the food, the rations, takes what he needs, and he's in a car, and he's the one on watch. In the beginning of this episode, I'm like, how is he I'll get to that in a minute, actually. So he's in the car, right? And a head just pops up right next in the passenger seat. That's some crazy shit, man. That's some crazy. And he writes to Rick at the end of this episode, like, go to the boat, which I'll talk about that in a minute too. So basically in this episode, I did enjoy it. I'm very happy I enjoyed this episode, because The Walking Dead is starting to become a chore with this season 2. This was supposed to be the best season, and it just has not been the best season. But the crazy thing is, they are using Michonne as Andrea. Michonne in this episode actually says, we are the ones who live, to Rick, and that screams Andrea from the comics. They're just giving it to Michonne. And Rick and company finally meet King Ezekiel, which I absolutely loved. I mean, and you could tell that Ezekiel has a thing with Carol. There's a lot of setup that's happening for things to come, but the setup was actually executed quite nicely in this episode, especially with Rick talking to Ezekiel, Ezekiel talking to a lot of his members, even asking Morgan for his advice. I love Ezekiel. I love the casting of Ezekiel. I think this guy nails the character. That's the plus of The Walking Dead this season, was the casting of Ezekiel and himself. I did like Rick finally getting his balls back, finally not being a pussy, and telling we got to do this, we got to handle this guy. We don't have enough crew, we don't have enough guys to take on Negan, but with your help, we have a fighting chance. And Rick needs all the help he can get, because Negan is still he does. He has an army, basically. What I love about this episode, and again, another shining bright moment for Rosita. Rosita is actually starting to become a great character in this season. She's tough. She's pissed. She's ready for vengeance, and she's trying to get things done. And the bomb thing was her okay, I know what to do. Rosita in this episode was a shining spot, just like a lot of times throughout this season. She's a shining spot. Rosita is way better than the comics version, and I love it. I absolutely love this character and what they're doing with her, and I want to see her interaction. The interaction with her and Sasha was subtle, but great. I mean, she is, I can't praise this character enough. Even though she hasn't been all in our face, the things she does and the dialogue she's gotten and she delivers, this actress, is not the, you know, award-winning performances, but it's doing its job, making me intrigued for this character and making me happy about this character and what she's doing. Still waiting for Carl to be a big boy, put on his big boy pants and start taking charge. It's just, I just want Carl to be a little badass, especially after reading the issue this today. After reading the newest issue of The Walking Dead in the comic, it's just like, when am I going to see that Carl? When am I going to see that? When am I going to see this actor shoulders up, make a presence for himself? I'm waiting for that, and hopefully at the end of this season we see that. We see Carl just blossom. Other than that, we also have, of course, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. We had the voice of him, but then we have his number 2 guy. Can't remember his name, but he comes in because Daryl escaped. So they find out. It was cool that they had the walkie-talkie. Jesus had the walkie-talkie to listen on Negan and when they were approaching, and that's when they were defusing the bombs on the highway, you know, with the zombie horde. I thought that was a cool little moment, little tension here. The lawnmower scene, woo! It was fun. I would say it was fun. The lawnmower scene was actually really, really cool. I liked it. I could dig it. But I do like how his man came and checked the whole shit. I love this guy was on Westworld too. I loved how he's like, relax, we're not here for rations, you know. But Daryl, I don't care if he's not with you or with you. He's a dead man. And Daryl stays in the kingdom while Rick and his crew are going back to Alexandria because there's things to do in Alexandria. But Daryl staying with the kingdom is basically because Ezekiel would have said yes right away, honestly, but with Daryl there, they're trying to stretch it out. They're trying to stretch out material to at least last this season, and the next season Ezekiel will eventually probably say yes. But Daryl is probably going to convince Ezekiel, and then we're gonna have the Daryl and Carol reunion because I think that's gonna happen. Maybe we'll talk about Glenn. Morgan found out about Glenn, Abraham, and a lot of the other people we don't really care about. But yeah, it's cool that Daryl is like, he's safe with the kingdom, but eventually he will convince, or I think he will convince Ezekiel to fight along Rick, because that's what Rick tells him to do. Like, I need you to convince Ezekiel about this. This is our plan, brother. The negatives of this episode, however, was the fact that Michonne and Rick should have been dead. Their ass, if it was any other character, and just the execution of them getting out of the zombie horde, because after they do that lawnmower scene, they had to get out of this horde of zombies and just try to get into the car where the Rosita was driving and get out of here. There were like zombies all over them. They would have been scratched. They would have definitely been bit. Like, these two should, especially when Michonne wasn't even wearing any sleeves, these two should be like infected by that scene alone. And just the way the camera angles, or just the way they presented it, and the execution, and just how the actors worked with the other actors, the zombie actors, it just, no, they should have been infected. Any other movie, any other series, those motherfuckers are dead. So that was like a little bit, it was disappointing. I was like, oh, come on, really? Like that would never happen in real life. This is how Walking Dead is. That's just how it is. When they're ready to kill them off, they're ready to kill them off. But a lot of these characters should have been dead already. Another disappointing thing, a little bit. I mean, as much as I like the lawnmower scene, it just looked like that bomb was just there for just to have something in the episode, just include something in there to waste time. But you know what, it wasn't that bad. Like, I can't complain too much about that, because they did get the dynamite, the bombs that they will eventually need later on. So I can't really complain too much about that scene. It definitely just felt like they put it in there to just run some time off and have some conflict overall. And then of course Morgan. I think Morgan and him still hesitant about going after this guy when he knows they should. Morgan knows, but when King Ezekiel asks him, he said, well, maybe there's another way. There has to be another way. There is no other way, Morgan. Put on the big boy pants. Put on the big boy pants. It was a actually good episode. It was watchable. It was actually somewhat entertaining. A lot of good zombie kills. The dialogue wasn't excruciating like it always is. the things that were going on were interesting. And I thought the music was good too. I think I made a note that the music was actually pretty good in this episode, and just what the characters overall, like I said, what the characters were doing and stuff. Carol coming in there and kind of giving that kid advice. I like that little moment. I like how Ezekiel's like, "Oh, what did Carol say?" I like that. But overall, this episode was not too bad. It was fine. It was a good episode. I will give it kudos to that. However, Walking Dead, you will not fool me. You will not fool me, buddy. This is what they do. Either the first half is always a bore and the second half actually picks up, or the first half is awesome and the second half just lets you down. Starting to look like the second half might pick up and actually be good, but I'm waiting for that complete season. I'm waiting for like a season 1. But if you think about it, season 1 is only like half a season now that The Walking Dead has. Maybe it needs to go back to that format. Maybe we need to go back to just 8 episodes of The Walking Dead, because right now you're just giving me one half good, one half bad, and you're salvaging season 7, but we want the whole season to be phenomenal. So this is no excuse. If you haven't seen a Mr. Sunday movies video of The Walking Dead and his thoughts on it, it is right on the money. I'm going to be responding to that video, but right on the money. And it's sad that I have to, I have to wait till the second season to it actually being good, when, they have great premieres of the seasons, but then it's lackluster throughout. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens in the future if The Walking Dead uses momentum to carry on to the finale. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. Like the video if you like it, and comment below. Love to hear you guys' thoughts, and check out all my YouTube videos and check out that issue review of The Walking Dead. I'm Dan the American Daniel's son. Until we talk next time, it's not Sunday, but Dead Walking Sunday. Till next time, to more Walking Dead. See you guys later.